I fell on the floor with a massive heart attack.
Clear.
I had never seen someone so dead.
He just said, I'm here to make sure that everything is going to be okay.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Hasselbeck. They're your friends, your neighbors. They are the 3 in 4 Americans who firmly believe in angels. These people have seen angels with their own eyes and have encountered their saving grace. First, there are some things medical science just can't explain. Among them, the story of Jeff Markin, a man who by all accounts shouldn't be alive.
In 2006, in sunny West Palm Beach, Florida, 53-year-old Jeff Markin has been struggling to get his life back on track after years of upheaval.
I was going through, I would say, midlife crisis, and I just did things that I now regret.
My parents got divorced when I was 14, and so my relationship was relatively distant with my dad.
I didn't feel like there was a close enough connection between me and my dad.
I was a workaholic, and I didn't have a lot of free time to spend it with my family.
The morning of September 20th begins like any other day, as Jeff leaves for his job at a hydraulic supply company.
I just felt like it was just another day in the life of Jeff Markin.
Then, just blocks from his house, Jeff's chest tightens. He struggles to breathe and breaks into a cold sweat.
I wasn't feeling right, so I got on my phone and I called my boss.
Hello, this is Jeff.
I wasn't really being articulate, and he could just tell there was an urgency to my voice.
I'm not feeling so well.
He just knew that there was something going on, that I wasn't right, and he persuaded me to drive to the hospital.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I barely remember any of the drive. I made my way into the ER room.
Help me, please.
My hands were like cold and tingly, and I took out my wallet to present it to the receptionist.
Sir, oh my God, sir.
And I fell on the floor with a massive heart attack.
Please help him.
There was a security guard praying over me until the ER team was summoned. And that's the very last thing that I can remember.
Doctors rush Jeff back to the ER, where they discover his heart has stopped completely.
Clear.
While they work furiously to revive him,
Clear.
Jeff's eldest daughter, Jillian, arrives in the waiting room.
My father, Jeff Markin, is here.
When I got to the hospital, I wanted answers, and I don't think anyone had any answers for me yet.
Just have a seat, and I'll let the doctor know that you're here.
Okay, so what's the first thought that comes to your mind? There's something wrong. There's something terribly wrong.
Clear.
20 minutes after Jeff flatlined, the ER team still can't reestablish a heartbeat.
It had shocked me a half a dozen times. During that time, I experienced this vision of bright white lights swirling all around me. I was standing in the back of a funeral home, and it was empty. And that's when I had realized that the funeral was for me, that I had died. And I wasn't mad about dying. I was more upset about where my family and my friends were. I thought I was loved and I had people around me, and where was everybody? And that had me more upset than anything else. Separation from my family is the biggest regret I have. I didn't give my children the family life that they deserved.
Out in the waiting room, Jeff's ex-wife, Marianne, and his daughter, Brittany, are very concerned for his life.
It was a sad time because all we kept thinking about was Jeff was going to die.
I don't know what to do with myself. I'm almost numb. The part that I was most afraid of is not being able to say goodbye.
Clear.
After an exhaustive effort to restart Jeff's heart,
Dr. Crandall, please report to the
a code blue goes out for senior cardiologist, Dr. Chauncey Crandall.
Code blue is a special term meaning that someone is dying of cardiac arrest. And when I was called to the emergency room to see Jeff, who was in cardiac arrest, he had already been 40 minutes into trying to revive him.
What do we got? There's no response.
And I was shocked, really shocked, because I had never seen someone so dead. It sounds strange.
He's cyanotic.
Cyanotic means that there's black discoloring of the limbs. He's gone, he's dead. They need to give this thing up.
Clear.
Stop trying to revive him. There's no life in this man.
When you have to call it.
You know, I'm looking at the emergency room doctor. I said, don't you get it? This guy's gone.
Coming up.
The bright light was just totally around me.
An astonishing phenomenon that defies medical explanation. Almost 40 minutes after Jeff Markin suffered a massive heart attack, doctors face the fact that Jeff is dead.
Time of death, 8:05. There's living patients waiting, guys. Let's go.
After we had declared him dead, I can remember we had 2 double doors. I pushed them open, and they flapped open, and I walked through.
Pray for Jeff Markin.
And then I heard this voice that said, turn around and pray for that man. How can I pray for a dead man?
Pray for Jeff Markin.
And the voice came back again. I'm a scientist. I'm an academic. But I went. I walked to the side of the stretcher. I stood next to the body.
Dr. Crandall?
And the nurse looked at me strangely, like, why are you back here?
Dr. Crandall, what are you doing?
Doctor, I want you to shock this man one more time.
We've already called time of death, Chauncey.
I said, for me, shock him one more time.
What the doctor doesn't know is that Jeff's spirit is still in limbo.
The bright light was just totally around me, as white a light as you could possibly imagine. There was like an energy or something there that I just had no fears. Out of the lights came this very nondescript image. It was just very non-threatening, and I was willing to hear what he had to say. He just said, I'm here to look over you and to make sure that everything is going to be okay. He told me not to worry and that everything was going to be fine and I'm going to be good. And he said he had to go.
Just do what I want you to do one more time.
The emergency room doctor grabbed the paddles. He went over to the body and blasted it with a jolt of electricity. We looked at the monitor, and there was one beat, another one, perfect order, perfect rhythm, and all of a sudden his abdomen is lifting up in the air, and we're looking at this miracle that was taking place. Wow. I've never, ever seen anybody declared dead that has come back to life.
Okay, get an ICU, stat.
This was a true miracle.
Jeff is prepped for quadruple bypass surgery. His heart is beating, but his ultimate fate is still in question.
We didn't know that he would wake up. We thought he has a heartbeat, but what about his mind? What about his memory? He's been down for 40 minutes, no blood flow, no brain flow, no oxygen. We didn't know what would happen to Jeff. Will he wake up, or is he brain dead?
Despite his successful surgery, Dr. Crandall must deliver a bleak prognosis to Jeff's loved ones.
Your dad suffered a severe heart attack, and he was a long time without oxygen to his brain.
The doctor said, your dad is most likely going to have brain damage.
I walked into the room and was shocked. Jeff just looked dead. There was no life in there.
Still to come, Jeff Markin's incredible second chance.
Oh my goodness.
Miracles do happen.
After being declared dead in the ER, Jeff Markin is miraculously brought back to life. But doctors warn Jeff's family that his chances of a full recovery are very low.
I didn't see him when he was dead, but he could have been dead when he was laying there.
It was hard to see him with his eyes closed and unable to say anything.
On the third day after Jeff Markin was declared dead, yet another miracle.
His fingers are moving.
What? I went to go visit him on my 16th birthday.
Dad. Oh my goodness.
And it was the first time that he opened his eyes.
You're okay?
So, that's one thing I'll never forget.
I was really happy to see my daughters. It was indescribable. I have my daughters there.
Jeff, you're back.
It's good to be back.
When Jeff woke up 3 days later, I was amazed that he could think clearly. And I was just amazed that he was alive.
What happened?
Well, we lost you for a good 40 minutes. Where did you go?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
My life changed, and miracles do happen, and I believe in angels. I want to say to my angel, thanks for being there.
For Jeff, the true blessing is getting closer to the daughters he almost lost.
I feel like everything that happened to my dad was meant to happen to him. Those angels were there to take care of my dad and make sure that everything did go okay.
My girls are my life. I'm glad that I am here every day, that I see their life